Well, welcome to episode 2. So I've done a few things here. So I've checked the electrolytic capacitor on the bottom, and it actually works, checks good. So the electrolytic cap is good. I don't think it's original. I think someone changed it at some point, but nevertheless, I've tested it and it works well. I've also taken an inventory of all the paper caps underneath that I have, and what I'll do is go through my stock and pull out the ones that I need, and pay attention to that one. There's a buffer cap in there, 1600 volts, 0.006. So I'll need to think about what I'm going to do with that, or test it at least and see if it's good. But what I'm going to do is fire this thing up and see what happens. I have the speaker output connected to my scope right there, and I have a pair of gator wires going to the speaker, which I believe is a 4-ohm speaker. So let's power it up. We're going to come up slowly on the Variac. So let's arm this thing, okay? And let's put some power up here. All right, let's watch this thing slowly. So we're going to start with 30 volts. Let's see, I've got a little bit of glow there. Let me shut this light off. A little bit of glow. Let's go up to 50. 50 volts. Those bulbs are glowing. That's a good sign. Looks like that meter is lit. Let's go up to 80. Looks like we're getting some filament glow here. Definitely here. This is the 6V6G, which is the output tube. That's glowing. And let's tune around here. I only have a short gator wire attached to this thing. Let's see if we can pick up anything else.
Two in that series. That's where Manu Ginobili got hurt on the final game of the regular season.
Wow.
His feeling is 6 2/3 against Dallas Baptist.
We're amazed.
Going to be able to play. That's one thing to have the dumpster removed. I lived 30 feet.
So it must be important. Raise their estimates for growth, inflation, and interest rates. And those are the three things that had this market rallying in anticipation thereof.
So when I put the AVC switch on right here, this meter kicks into action. Not sure what it means, but I do know, let's see.
They could make it difficult to reach consensus on initiatives that could provide economic stimulus, such as
I'll have to look and see what that meter is supposed to be doing.
funding for infrastructure. Many people.
I thought that would be like a signal strength kind of thing,
Trump's campaign promises of
but it looks like it's off the meter. There's my BFO. If I put it to manual, it goes down to 0. Put it to AVC, and up she goes. Okay, so it is a signal strength. So as I tune, that meter changes. I got a good strong signal on that one. I would imagine this works with the band spread. This is how you zero in on a clean signal. Alright, so anyway, let's power this off. So it looks like it works out of the box, which is good. That's a great sign. It means all the transformers are good, the tubes are good, and now it's just a question of changing all those paper caps underneath and starting the cleaning process. But it looks like it's a relatively good shape electronically anyway. I'll have to see if I can get a replacement knob for this one right here. But I think electronically, I think we're okay. I am going to have to check voltages and things and see how that goes. But encouraged by at least the first signs. And take a closer look at the inside of this thing. I mean, there's a fuse down there. Look at the cobwebs on this thing. Just filthy. But it's okay. There's a whole bunch of spider webs down there. but it works. So we're going to clean it. And again, this is that knob that I had to move. So I'm going to start that process, and I'll come back when I have an update for you. Okay, the first thing I did was I took this this little cover off here. This is where the sticker is, and the sticker actually came off fairly easily, and I was able to get it off in one piece. And this obviously is needs to be cleaned. It's filthy. I've already started cleaning it, and you can see what the rag looks like. You'll notice it's got this this burn mark here from the rectifier tube, and what I'll do is I'll polish this up. I also noticed something unusual about this radio that I didn't realize, and it does have a mod. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you recall, what I told you is in order to get this out, I needed to remove this pot. Well, this pot is not part of the radio. It's something that was added. Let me take it off the tripod here and show you what I mean. Okay, so this knob that I'm talking about protrudes through here, and it's connected to these two switches. And these switches have no label, right? And I took a look at some other Hammarlunds, and there's no switches there. So I don't know what this does. Not sure what function it has. I'm going to have to trace the wires back. There's one wire that goes underneath the chassis that's connected to that pot. I'm going to have to trace it back and see what it does. So that's something that was added. I have to imagine, I'm going to guess, but I have to imagine that it has something to do with the crystal sensitivity or the beat oscillator. I don't really know. Again, I'm not going to guess, but that is something that is not standard with the unit, this pot. I may or may not leave it. We'll see what it does. So I just want to share that. So let me continue cleaning here. I want to get this thing nice and shiny. I'll use some metal polish on it, and we'll come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, be back. Okay, a little Brasso and a little bit one of those Scotch pads, Scotch Brite pads, have really changed this around. I'm probably going to give it one last shot with steel wool, and I'm probably going to put a protective coat of poly on it, just to keep it nice. I do probably have to put a piece of tape here and here when I do that, because these sockets for the bulbs actually connect here, and I would imagine there's a ground point. So I don't want to disturb that. But this piece is starting to show some promise. I'll take a look at this label at the end of the day, and it'll end up going there before I put on the poly or the lacquer, whatever you want to call it. And we're on our way. We'll keep plugging along. Okay, we've begun some of the rudimentary cleaning. So I've basically cleaned off the tubes, being careful not to wipe off the tube numbers. That's one thing I want to remind you all of. If you're going to clean tubes like this that are really dirty, don't use anything that's going to be abrasive or an ammonia-based product, because it'll wipe the paint off and you won't know what tube it is. So make sure you be careful about that. I've also started the cleaning of some of these cans. You'll see here I've gotten at least the base coat of dirt off of them here. Same thing here. So we're just going to get started. I've taken a look at these tuning caps, and they appear to be in good shape. There's a little bit of dust in there and spider webs. So we'll clean those out and make sure that everything gets greased up properly in there. All of this fine tuning knobs all seem to be working really smoothly. Of course, we'll grease them, put some lithium grease in there, and we're just going to continue the cleaning process. Sometime tonight I'm going to flip this over and start doing the caps on the bottom. And just to remind you again, I've got 11, 13, 16, 17 caps under there that need to be changed. And there's also a metal can under there that has 2 more in it, which I'll explore later. But they're mostly .02s and .05s. Matter of fact, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 .02s that I found. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 .05s. And of course we've got that .006, which is 1600 volts. And then there's a single .1 that I was able to find. I am going to try to use high quality caps in this thing. I don't know if I'm going to use those yellow caps here, because typically for audio kind of applications, and remember I do the amplifier stuff, those yellow caps aren't really the best. So I'm going to try to see if I can get some orange drops for this. They have a much better tonal quality. Obviously this thing is not a stereo, but I want to try to at least bring it back to make it sound good, because it does have a really nice sound to it. So that's going to be where I am. I'm going to look through my inventory and see if I have any orange drops here that'll work. And I'll come back when I start to put a few in and show you that. Be back. Okay, as it turns out, I do have the orange drops that I mentioned. So I've got the 0.1s here, and they're 630 volts right there. And I've got the 0.47s, which are again 630 volts. And I've got 0.22s, which are 630s. So that will satisfy all these needs for these caps. So that's good news. So we'll be able to put those in, and it'll be a much better end product. So back to work. Later. Okay, it turns out this speaker does work. It doesn't sound very good, and I haven't opened it up yet to take a look inside, but the speaker is working. What I did is I put a battery across the terminals. I did hear scratchy. I took a look at the wires. They were broken. I stripped it back, and the speaker is working. So I'll still need to take it out of that case and take a look at the cone and all that stuff. But at least I know the speaker works, and see if it's salvageable. If not, I'll replace it. It's a 12-inch speaker. I believe it's a 16 ohm.
No more intimidation, no more worries about
I gotta look at it.
We are now in charge.
It is working.
Or at least we will be.
So that's the story on that. And then just a little more progress here. Continuing to clean, that type of thing. Just going to keep that process going. And we'll go from there. Still haven't figured out what this mod is, but that's for another day. And I did find another one of these knobs on eBay. So I've already got that. I'm going to take all these other knobs off, put them in the ultrasonic cleaner and get them clean. And we'll move forward. And I did figure out what this meter is, by the way. So obviously it's a signal strength meter, and if I put the sensitivity knob up, it goes all the way up in pegs. So the goal, I guess, is to keep it somewhere in that 5 to 9 range, so it doesn't distort. I believe that's the goal. We'll see. Be back. Alright, well, you all know how to install capacitors, but I'll just do one on camera. So I've cut out this this .02 600, and you can see it's not looking so good. There's a little bit of melting of wax going on here. Actually, let's throw it up on the tester and see how good it is or how bad it is. Just for giggles. So we'll put one end here and one end here, and we'll turn it on. It's supposed to be .02. Let's see what we got. .01. So it's a little low. So anyway, it's getting replaced. So so what we're going to do is we're going to replace it with this 0.22 orange drop, and you'll see that I've trimmed the cap very close to the edges, so I have these two legs standing up here. You may not be able to see that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use pigtail method on these things. And before I do that, I'm going to put a very, very small piece of tubing on here, just to provide some insulation in case it's needed, like that. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. This video may be longer than my usual, but that's okay. So we're going to put this one on this side, like that. And then I'm going to take this little screwdriver here. I'm going to wrap these ends around the screwdriver. And we're going to create a pigtail. Let's see if we can do this on the camera. Like so. Then we're going to take our needle nose and we're going to make sure it's nice and tight. Like so. And we're actually going to leave the hole at that angle. Alright, because when we put it on here, we want it to sit on top of those posts. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. So there's our cap. We've got the two pigtails on it. And we're going to come in here. And I know right away that I've got too long of a wire here coming off this tube socket. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on this side. I'm going to put this on this side. And then we're going to turn these ends over. You never want to just solder it without bending the wire, because then you're just using solder as the connection and you're taking a risk. Okay, that side's bent. We're going to put this side on. And you guys can fast forward this if it's boring, because I know you know how to do this. Okay, let's get some solder on this thing. Okay, where's my solder? Here it is. And we're just going to do some quick heat here. We don't need to go crazy. Let's clean off the tip. Okay. Okay, we've got that one side tacked in. I'm going to do the other side. Again, we're not going to leave the iron leaning on here because I do have the tube in there. So we're not going to let that whole pin heat up. And we're going to tug on it, nice and tight. Just like that, we have our first cap checked and replaced. Anyway, hope that helps somebody. I'm going to turn this off now and continue. Thanks. I want to show you this cap. So look at that. It's supposed to be a 0.02. And let's see what it's reading. 0.07. Definitely bad. And it's on this tube right here. Which I believe, let's see what it is. Looks like it's a 6K6. So it's going across that 6K6 tube. Anyway, just want to show you that one. We're continuing. Okay, last part of this chapter is going to be that all these caps have been replaced. I haven't done these two right here. I've got to dig those out a little bit. I've got two here, and these are attached to the speaker output. And I've got a few down here that I need to dig in. I'm going to have to remove the filter cap and all that good stuff to get in those. But at this point, given all this work that I've done in here, I'm going to flip this thing over, power it on, make sure everything works before we go any further. So let me do that, and I'll be back. Alright, we've got it powered up, and it's working. I have it connected to that 8-ohm speaker at the moment. These pots are a little scratchy. I'll have to clean those.
You know, I always joke it's so easy. I'm not at risk of
what a great tone on this thing.
In my finger.
Wow.
And I know, we laugh about that, how easy it is, but this is a fact, folks.
This radio really has cool tone to it. I got to figure out how I can check some sideband stations or something. Anyway,
if you could make the money you're making now at your JOB, and instead work 2 hours a day from home.
Okay, so I'm going to end this one here because it's probably going to be a little bit longer. So just to recap, no pun intended, I replaced all of those capacitors underneath. Actually, there's a big pile of them here. I've got a few more to do. I've started the cleaning process. Got the tubes cleaned. I've got this cover in great shape that I can replace, and we're going to continue cleaning and getting this thing in much better shape. So that's the end of episode 2. I'm going to post it today because I want to get it up there because tomorrow's Easter, and I'm not going to be posting anything tomorrow. So anyway, that's the story. Thanks, folks.